ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जायमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामीनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. We are reading from Canto 4, Chapter 29, the talks between Narada Muni and King Prachina Parishad. So, extremely beautiful section which is going on, and that is Narada Muni describing the process of devotional service. And it's like playing to their strength. When Narada Muni, who is the Shaktavesh avatar of the Supreme Lord, Jivatattva, but especially empowered as a Shaktavesh avatar to spread the glories of the holy name, to spread the glories of bhakti. Narad Muni has beautifully defined the process of devotional service, especially the last four shlokas. And Srila Prabhupada gives, who is a jet age Narad Muni, gives such amazing purports. So yesterday's purport, and day before yesterday, right from text 35 to text 40. These six shlokas were amazing shlokas. Srila Prabhupada gave very amazing purports there. So we come to text 41. एतैत् उपधृतै नित्यं जीवलोकस्वभावजैः न करोति हरिर्नूनं कथामृतनिधिं निधौ रतिम्. Translation.
Because the conditioned soul is always disturbed by the bodily necessities such as hunger and thirst, he has very little time to cultivate attachment to hearing the nectarian words of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purport. Unless one is associated with devotees, he cannot cultivate Krishna consciousness. Nirjana bhajana, cultivating Krishna consciousness in a solitary place, is not possible for the neophyte. For he will be disturbed by the bodily necessities, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Being so disturbed, one cannot cultivate Krishna consciousness. We therefore see that devotees known as Sahajiya, who make everything very easy, do not associate with advanced devotees. Such persons, in the name of devotional activities, are addicted to all kinds of sinful acts, illicit relations, intoxication, gambling, and meat eating. There are many so called devotees passing themselves off as devotees while engaging in these sinful activities. In other words, one who is influenced by sinful activity cannot be accepted as a person in Krishna consciousness. A person addicted to sinful life cannot develop Krishna consciousness as indicated in this verse. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So Narad Muni here says that etat upadritau nityam jivaloka swabhavajam. That the conditioned soul, Jiva Loka, the natural swabhava of this conditioned soul, a nice word, Jiva Loka. And what is the swabhava of this Jiva Loka is constantly upadritai, upadrita. Upadrita means, these words come upadrita. प्रायेण अल्पायुषसभ्य कलौ अस्मिन् युगे जनः. What is the next line? Manda sumanda matayo manda bhagya upadrita. So upadrita means always disturbed. So this upadrita nityam, constantly disturbed. Na karoti harer nunam kathamrita nidhuratim. And therefore he has very little taste for the attachment to the hearing, the nectarian words of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right. Kathamrita nidhi ratim. That na utpadaya yati ratim. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada describes that the Nirjan Bhajan, which is propagated or which is by some Sahajiyas, is not very highly recommended. What is Nirjan Bhajan? Means people just realizes the futility of everything, will close himself and he will just chant the holy names. But he is not with anybody except with his own devilish mind. And mind can degrade such a personality. And thus these people who are known as Sahajiyas, who keep away from the association of the advanced devotees, they fall in all types of sinful activities and thus becomes extremely degraded in their life. So there is a very strong tendency. Later we will see the pastime of Saubhari Muni, right? So the Saubhari Muni, he went to became very angry with the Vaishnava. That was Garudaji. Went to do tapasya in Yamunada, Kaliyada, before Kaliya came there. And that we will hear about Saubhari Muni. And then the same thing in a different way with Bharat Maharaj. And therefore, association of the devotees is extremely important to advance in Krishna consciousness. Text 42 to 44. प्रजापतिः पति साक्षात् भगवान् गिरिशो मनुः दक्षादय प्रजाध्यक्षा नैष्ठिकासनकादयः मरीचे अत्रि अंगिरसौ पुलस्त्य पुलः क्रतुः भृगुर्वशिष्ठ इत्येते मन्दाना मन्दन्ता ब्रह्मवादिनः अद्यापि वाचपतयः तपः विद्यासमाधिभिः पश्यन्तोऽपि न पश्यन्ति पश्यन्तं परमेश्वरम्. Translation.
The most powerful Lord Brahma, the father of all progenitors, Lord Shiva, Manu, Daksha, and the other rulers of humankind, the four saintly first-class brahmacharis headed by Sanaka and Sanatan, the great sages Marichi, Atri, Angira, Pulatsya, Ulaha, Kratu, Bhrigu, and Vashishta, and my humble self, Narada, are all stalwart Brahmanas who can speak authoritatively on Vedic literature. We are very powerful because of austerities, meditation, and education. Nonetheless, even after inquiring about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whom we always see, we do not know perfectly about him. Purport. According to the foolish Darwinian theory of the anthropologist, it is said that 40,000 years ago, Homo sapiens had not appeared on this planet because the process of evolution had not reached that point. However, the Vedic histories, the Puranas and Mahabharata, relate human histories that extend millions and millions of years into the past. In the beginning of creation, there was a very intelligent personality, Lord Brahma, and from him emanated all the Manus and the Brahmacharis like Sanak and Sanatan, as well as Lord Shiva, the great sages, and Narada. All these personalities underwent great austerities and penances and thus became authorities in Vedic knowledge. Perfect knowledge for human beings as well as all living entities is contained in the Vedas. All the above mentioned great personalities are not only powerful, being cognizant of past, present, and future, but are also devotees. Still, in spite of their great education in knowledge, and despite their meeting the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, they cannot actually understand the perfection of the living entity's relationship with Lord Vishnu. This means that these personalities are still limited as far as their knowledge of the unlimited is concerned. The conclusion is that simply by advancing one's knowledge, one cannot be accepted as an expert in understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Personality of Godhead can be understood not by advanced knowledge but by pure devotional service, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 18.55. Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yaschasmi tastataha. Unless one takes to pure transcendental devotional service, he cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead in truth. Everyone has some imperfect ideas about the Lord. So-called scientists and philosophical speculators are unable to understand the Supreme Lord by virtue of their knowledge. Knowledge is not perfect unless one comes to the platform of devotional service. This is confirmed by the Vedic version. अथापि ते देव पदाम्बुजद्वय प्रसाद लेशा लेशानुगृत एव हि जानाति तत्त्वं भगवान् महिम्नो न चान्य एकोऽपि चिरं विचिन्वन्. Bhagavatam 10.14.29. The speculators, the Jnanis, go on speculating about the Supreme Personality of Godhead for many hundreds and thousands of years. But unless one is favored by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one cannot understand His supreme glories. All the great sages mentioned in this verse have their planets near Brahmaloka, the planet where Lord Brahma resides along with four great sages, Sanaka, Sanatan, Sanandan and Sanat Kumar. These sages reside in different stars known as the southern stars, which circle the pole star. The pole star, called Dhruvaloka, is the pivot of this universe, and all planets move around this pole star. All the stars are planets as far as we can see within this one universe. According to Western theory, all the stars are different suns, but according to Vedic information, there is only one sun within this universe. All the so-called stars are but different planets. Besides this universe, there are many millions of other universes, and each of them contains similar innumerable stars and planets.
Now Narad Muni says that there are personalities like Prajapati Patihi, that is the Pati of Prajapati, the father of all the Prajapatis, that is Lord Brahma, Sakshat Bhagavan Girisho Manu, Bhagavan Girisha, Lord Shiva, Manus Dakshadaya, Prajadyaksha, Naishtika, Sanakadaya, and the Naishtika Prabal Brahmachari like Sanak Sanatan, Sananda, Sanat Kumar, Marichi, Atri, Angiras, Pulasya, Pulaha, Kratu, Bhrugu, Vashishta, and Iti Brahmavadinaha. All these are great personalities. And then Narad Muni says, including myself. Right. This is, Narad Muni says that, yes, I am also my humble self, that is Narada. We all are the stalwart Brahmanas who can speak authoritatively on the Vedic scriptures. Adhyapi Vachaspataya. We are Vachaspati. We are the masters of the speech, and we can authoritatively speak on the Vedas. And not only that, Paschantopi na paschanti paschantam parameshwaram. That even after inquiring about the absolute truth, whom we see always, still we hardly able to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is a grace and dignity in this speech. Like recently I was just studying we were just reading the news. So there were two students from Kota, and the one boy got 300 out of 300 in JEE means All India rank 1. JEE Advance he was All India rank 2. And here I knew my friend only was there. So we are 6 of us, and out of top 10, we6 are one class only. So yeah, he became All India rank 1, I became All India rank 2, and that's okay between us. So what it means is, the level of performance. So here Narada Muni is talking about Bhrugu, Atri, Angiras, Pulasya, Pulaha, Brahma, Lord Shiva, Manu, Daksha, Prajadyaksha, and the Chatushkumar. And he says, we all know the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We all see the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And all this is, we are powerful because of the austerity, meditation, and education, Vidya. Right? We always see the Supreme Lord, but we hardly know the Supreme Lord. In the first canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, Narad Muni's story is there, where Narad Muni says later, he says that now when I chant the holy names of the Lord, he will come running and sit in the core of my heart as if called for. Right. This is the purity of the chanting. This is the advancement of Narad Muni. And he says that, but we hardly able to understand that supreme personality of Godhead. So what it means is rarity of knowing the Supreme Lord. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains that a foolish Darwin's theory, so Prabhupada gives 2-3 beatings to Darwin also here, is describing about, intelligent man for last 10,000 years and man coming to picture in 40,000 years. Before that, monkeys and animals and everything. He said that no, the Vedic history lasted for millions and billions of years. And so one thing is, it is not that the intelligent personality has just arrived. The modern man is the most intelligent man. He is the most stupid actually in Kali Yuga. Right. That is not the case. There are many great personalities like Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Naishtika Sanakadaya, Bhrigu, Angiras, right? All these personalities, they are the different great, they underwent great austerities and penances and thus became authorities in the Vedic knowledge. And all above personalities reside within the universe. They have their own powerful planets. And Srila Prabhupada describes just like, and their planets are near Brahmaloka. So just like there is, Brahmaji has a planet Brahmaloka. Similarly, the seven rishis, they have their own planets, Saptarshis, and all these are circling around the pole star, that is Dhruvatara. And this is how the entire planetary system is going on. And modern science is yet to come to that understanding. They will take some time. Very, very recently, just a couple of days back, there was a publication from Ayuka where they said that after James Webb images, we have firmly concluded that the early expansion of the universe, I mean, they are confused about one universe, multiple universes, but they said the early expansion of the universe between 400 to 900 million years after the Big Bang, that was also very, very systematic and structured. So they are challenging the entire idea that there was a chaotic Big Bang and the order came from the chaos. Now they are saying that it looks order here, but if you go back, there is chaos. But if you go as back as close to 400 to 900 million years, because they are receiving the light from that particular time, which is captured by James Webb telescope, they're saying that even that, those galaxies and those expansions also look very structured and not very chaotic. So modern science will take a long time to come to the conclusion. And what to understand, what to speak of understanding the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord can be understood bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yaschasmi tatvata, only by performing the devotional service. Otherwise, the imperfect knowledge will always lead to imperfect conclusion. And this perfect knowledge is achieved only by prasada leshanu anugrayat. One has to be favored by the Supreme Lord, then only one can know the glories of the Supreme Lord, which is the case with all the great personalities, the great sages mentioned here. So Srila Prabhupada describes here, we are going to enter the fifth canto very soon, where the universe is being described. So there is the Western worldview of the universe and there is a Vedic worldview of the universe. The Western worldview says that we have a solar system, there is one sun, like that there are millions of solar system in one galaxy, like there are billions of galaxies, and like there are billions of, it just goes. And when you go to astrophysics, you can very loosely use the terms millions, billions, trillions, zillions, because, but the Vedic understanding is that there is one sun in one universe. And all the planets, all the stars that we call as the stars, they're actually the planets of the great personalities, just like the Saptarshi. And this is based on certain, the Grihita aphorisms that which are contrary or which are not in sync with the Western science, right? So all these stars, but they are not all the stars, but they are different planets. Besides this universe, there are millions of such universes. Ananta Koti Brahmanda Nayak, right? So this is not, so there is not just one universe. There are millions and billions of universes, and ours happens to be the smallest one. Text 45. शब्द ब्रह्मणि दुष्पारे चरन्तं उरु विस्तरे मंत्रलिंगै व्यवच्छिन्नं भजन्तो न विदुः परम्. Translation.
Despite the cultivation of Vedic knowledge, which is unlimited, and the worship of different demigods by the symptoms of Vedic mantras, demigod worship does not help one to understand the supreme powerful personality of Godhead. Purport. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 7.20, Kamaistaistairrita jnana.
I will pick up this verse. कामस्तेस्तैर्तज्ञाना प्रपद्यन्ते अन्यदेवता तं तं नियममास्थाय प्रकृत्या नियतस्मया.
Those whose minds are distorted by material desire surrender unto demigods and follow the particular rules and regulations of worship, their own nature. Most people are interested in worshipping demigods to acquire powers. Each demigod has a particular power. For instance, the demigod Indra, the king of heaven, has power to shower rain on the surface of the globe to give sufficient vegetation to the earth. This demigod is described in the Vedas Vajrahasta Purandara. Indra rules the water supply with thunderbolt in his hand. The thunderbolt itself is controlled by Indra. Similarly, other demigods, Agni, Varuna, Chandra, Surya, have particular powers. All these demigods are worshipped in the Vedic hymns through symbolic weapons. Therefore, it is said here, Mantra Lingair Vyavachinam. By such worship, karmis may obtain the benediction of material opulences in the form of animals, riches, beautiful wives, many followers, and so on. By such material opulence, however, one cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Now Narad Muni describes that how karmis cannot know the Supreme Lord. Shabda Brahmani Dushpare. Dushpare means very unlimited. Shabda Brahmani Dushpare. Charantam Uru Vistare. Mantralingai Vivacchinnam. By chanting of the different mantras for different devatas, it is Bhajanto na Viduparam. It is very difficult to understand the Supreme Personality of God. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada quotes Bhagavad Gita, Kamastestair Jnana Prapadyante Anya Devata. So one should have a very clear understanding that there is a difference between God and demigod. And this is very clearly mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita describes the 5 subject matters, Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, Karma, and very clear understanding of what is Devata and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Generally, people, typical Hindu is non-confrontational. He says that, yeah, they all are one, everything is one, but that is a Pakhandi understanding. Right? Vishnu Sarveshwareshe Tada Itara Samadhira Yasyava Narakisa. It is considered as a hellish mentality. That doesn't mean that, the Devatas are not important. No, Devatas are very, very important. Just like for any government, you will have IAS officer, IPS officer, revenue officers, IRS officers, foreign services, right? And these are very responsible posts. But the moment you want to bribe them, then you become condemned, not they become condemned. This we have to understand this point, right? It is so. So what is it? Is Devatas are very great devotees, very great personalities. In fact, the greatest of the Devata, Mahadev, Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu. But when we want to take material desires from this Devata, then we become condemned, right? And therefore, Devatas are not to be worshipped for material desires. This is, the advanced understanding of Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam's understanding is, even if you have some desires, akamo sarva kamo va moksha kamo daradhi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. because there is purification of the heart. Otherwise, worshipping the devata, desires may be fulfilled, but heart will not be purified. And there are ample examples. Ravana worshipped Brahmaji, right? Bhasmasur, Vrikasur, they worshipped Lord Shiva. So they got the desired benediction, but ultimately the benediction only became the cause of their own destruction, because there was no purification of the heart when there was awarding the, or receiving the benediction. Versus we can see Dhruva Maharaj, who got the benediction, Dhruva Loka, but he was completely purified in the process of devotional service. And therefore it is Mantralinga Irvavachannam. By such worship, karmis may obtain the benedictions of material opulence, like animals. Animals, modern context, you can say animals means the vehicles. The people previously wanted to have some ghoda and other things, but nowadays people want to have vehicles, riches, and and many followers and everything. But such material opulence will never lead to understanding the supreme personality of Godhead. And classic example of this is Ravana and Hiranyakashipu. So they could never understand the supreme personality of Godhead in spite of all the opulences. Right? So we will conclude here and continue tomorrow. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, everyone. Today is a very auspicious day. Today we are having Ekadashi, Ashadi Ekadashi, and almost like 20 lakh devotees, Varkaris, they are there in Pandharpur. So, Vitobba Rukumai ki jai. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Jai. Prabhupada. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.